La la la. La la la. La la. I always feel like, oh, did you not like that? I'm sorry. I always feel like my mic is not loud enough because the sound bar is definitely not showing like it's loud enough, but y'all say it's fine usually, so we will go with that. La la la. Are you really gonna, are you getting a drink of water before we talk? Me too. Welcome in. Hi, Joshua. Are you excited? I'm excited. Are you staying up until 3 or whatever time it is for you when it comes out? I was debating it. It is 7:30 p.m. where I am right now. It comes out at 3 a.m. and I was debating it, but I went away for the weekend. I was gone Thursday to Sunday, and I am still exhausted from that. I'm not sure if it's just like my body being like bleh and having my allergies hit me because I do have allergies, or if I got a cold because I went to my partner's a firefighter, and so we went to Wildwood for the weekend. They have a big like a conference thing that they do on Friday and Saturday, and then we just turn it into like a little mini vacation. So I was around a lot of people. So I'm hoping I didn't get sick, but I'm like, maybe I should just sleep and wake up at my normal time, which would be 6. Hi, Caroline. I'm good. I'm good. After I just said I think I'm getting sick, but I'm good. I aside from that, I feel good and I feel excited. How are you? Ready for tonight? I'm staying up until 3 a.m. All right. Going to a bar in the city for the finale premiere. That sounds fun. That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. I love the city. I love, love, love the city. I hate traveling. I like doing the things. I hate getting there. So I'm about 45 minutes from the city. So I would have to get back. And that sounds fun, though. Lil Bear, hi. You're so excited. I am so excited, too. I cannot wait for this finale. So maybe somebody in here can confirm this for me. I saw on TikTok that a lot of people are talking about the finale being an hour and 17 minutes. Let's look it up on IMDb. Although IMDb has done me dirty. I don't know how true that is though, because there was that theory of like the episode 5 was going to be like an hour and a half or something. And then Jenny was like, no, it is not going to be an hour and a half. I will watch it tomorrow after work. Stay off of social media. I'm sure you know that, but stay off of social media. You will have it. I never forgot this. I was watching House of the Dragon, the Game of Thrones spinoff, and there was something, I won't say in case no one's seen it. There was something that happened in one of the episodes, and I actually got a notification from YouTube. I could say YouTube on YouTube. YouTube suggesting a video from somebody that I was not subscribed to that had the thumbnail picture of what happened in the episode. And it was like while I was watching the episode. I was so angry. It's like, don't even touch your phone, Caroline. Put it on mute. Silence everything. I'm about to spend a shitload of money just to stay up. I'm only a train ride from the city. Nice. I heard it to an hour and 17 minutes. Yeah. Oh yeah. So let's see. Yeah, that's fun. I would love to do something like that. A bunch of my friends are doing like listening parties for the Taylor Swift album. And I was like, oh, I kind of want to do something like that too, but I also kind of want to just be a nerd and like sit with my thoughts and listen to it. Yeah, see, it doesn't say on IMDb. It actually doesn't even have the name on IMDb. So that must have been a leak. What's your favorite season of The Summer I Turned Pretty? I think I have to go 1. I love season 1. It's just so nostalgic. Everybody's, getting to we're meeting everybody, getting into their personalities, and Susanna's there. I feel like, season 2 is phenomenal, but it is very heavy. It's a lot heavier than season 1, even though obviously we have very heavy moments in season 1. But I'm also everybody thinks I say this like as a joke. I'm serious when I say I am team Cam Cameron above all else. I loved Cam. So I loved that whole arc with Belly and him and season 1. Oh dang, yeah, season 1 is so good. It is. The Paris people who are planning a finale party said it. Ah, okay. I see this is another thing I saw on TT, um, that fans were getting invited to go watch the finale with the cast. That's cool. I love that they do things like that and make it all interactive. Do you think he will be in the finale? Cam? I don't think so because I feel like at this point, if they were going to have them, they would have. At the same time, I do believe that we are going to have a significant time jump and it would like they excused and Julia and Sky not being around for certain reasons, right? Like they didn't come to Jeremiah's wedding and Adam makes a comment like, "Oh, surprising." And then Conrad earlier in the season had referenced that he was going to meet her for lunch. So like they have been talked about or at least Aunt Julia has. So to see them in way in the future in a time jump would make sense, but I don't know. I feel like to see Cam especially, that would have to mean that well, I guess it wouldn't have to mean that, but I would think it would have to mean that him and Sky are still together. I guess it wouldn't have to mean that. It would be fun to see, like, all the original familiar faces, though, with it being the last one. What do you think will happen in the final episode? Hi, Abby. I I have been thinking about this like all week. And the only thing that I am truly set on happening is a time jump because they've gone through so much time in these past 2 episodes. So I really think that we're going to have a significant time jump. My ideas were altered slightly because of certain things that I've seen on social media. I someone brought up, like, at the end of the last episode, Belly's cutting her hair, and then they talk about, like, how it's her birthday. We know that Conrad's on his way, and she mentions, like, she's having a dinner with some of her friends. She doesn't mention a boyfriend, and they were like, "I think the whole Benito thing is gonna be done." But or I saw a lot of videos of her and Benito together and, like, them doing things. So, I don't know if that's just gonna be, like, a quick montage in the beginning and then, like, jump speed us to, like, where we are currently and then do a time jump or what, but, like, that surprised me. So, I think that now we're probably gonna get her and Benito developed, her break it off because we know that from Gemma's comment in the last episode, he is smitten with her. Um, and she like seems to not feel that way. So I think she's gonna break it off. I think then they're gonna have Conrad come to Paris and then do a time jump. But that's like I honestly, like, I don't know. And then I think that they're gonna be able to show where everybody else is in that time jump, but I don't know. Aside from that, I'm like, they could I've tried to theorize so many things this season and just doesn't work out well. So I don't know what they're gonna do. Hi, humble girl. Do you think Jeremiah has always been like this since season 1? I don't. I really don't. I see a lot of people that when I say, like, that his personality changed a lot in season 3, a lot of people are like, "He's been like this since season 1." I think that there are signs of it since season 1, but I don't think that he has been that person in season 1. And it's shocking to me that people feel so strongly about that just because of how bubbly of a personality I feel like he had in season 1. I think that it centers in more towards, like, people say, like, the manipulation and the immaturity. But again, yeah, I definitely see signs of manipulation and maturity, but I also think that it was more heavier on him not being like that. And I just feel like he is, like, full force hardcore in season 3. So, were there signs of it? Sure, but I don't think he was since season 1. It's about to go down, people. It is about to go down. This is like it's so weird. Like I'm so excited for it, but I also have this like weird like pit in my stomach kind of feeling at the same time because I thought that the last episode I said this about not episode 9 where I thought episode 9 was going to bring a lot of people in the fandom together and it 100% did not. It made it worse. And then I thought the last episode was going to bring a lot of I'm like okay, this is the one. It's gonna bring a lot of people in the fandom together, and it did, uh, bring a decent amount of people together, but there are still some that are, like, hard negatives on a lot of things, and so I just feel like the noise from those people are gonna be so loud depending on what happens, which I'm assuming is going to be Conrad Endgame. Um, and that in itself is going to be, like, frustrating to deal with and not allow me to enjoy the episode for what it is. I want the wedding, then I'm good to go. So, do you think that we're going to have a time jump and it's gonna throw us, like, right into them being married or, like, having the wedding? Or do you think it's gonna be, like, midway and then show us the rest of their lives? I hope John is not sick. Yeah, so we had the whole heartburn thing, and my friend immediately texted me and she was like, "So, are we thinking signs of a heart attack for John?" And I was like, my mind went there. And I would just be so surprised if they incorporated that into the finale. But at the same time, I feel like they showed way too much evidence. Like, my friend was like, maybe it was just trying to show, like, how, Belly's trying to find herself and be independent and, like, do her own thing. And while this is happening, Laurel's on the phone trying to find things for John because, like, he can't find anything. And I was like, there's just too much emphasis on it. I've seen a lot of theories where, like, that's what brings Belly home is that John has a scare, doesn't necessarily die, but has a scare, and she ends up hopping a flight and going home. Also saw a theory that, like, Conrad gets there and then it happens, so she doesn't have to fly back by herself kinda thing. There was this whole theory that I thought was really interesting of that scenario, like, John has the incident, she has to go home. Conrad goes back with her, and then at the hospital after John's okay, Belly and Conrad have a conversation about being something or getting back together, and I thought that would be a very interesting parallel to what happened with Steven's situation and Jeremiah and Belly, and we all know that this show loves to give parallels to a lot of things. Like, they parallel a lot of situations and showcase, like, how things can end up very differently between different people in different cases. So that would be cool, but I definitely hope that John is okay. He is dealing with grief, processing his emotions. Yeah, they all are. Yep. I think that's like a really interesting argument too. Is like I see a lot of people say like he's dealing with his grief, processing his emotions, and that comes from both sides as an excuse for that person, and it's like they're both doing that. So it's not okay for one to and not okay for the other two. You know, like, they're both doing that. So if you understand that for whoever you're defending, then I would think that you would have empathy for the other person, being that that's what they're going through too. But it's interesting that I see a lot of people say that and don't feel that way at the same time. What is your biggest ship in the summer I Turn Pretty? Lil Bear, you're gonna laugh at me. Cleveland and Laurel. I know that I've made so many jokes and references to that this season and different reactions, and, like, it just started becoming, like, an ongoing joke that I would just, like, bring Cleveland in at some point, but I am serious about this. Like, I loved Cleveland. I absolutely loved Cleveland. I loved him. I loved how Laurel just, like, became free and, like, silly around him. I love that Susanna got to see her have those moments with him. I love how he was there for Conrad and the advice he gave and the support, how he was real and open. I loved Cleveland's character, and I loved him and Laurel together. And when that didn't last, I got so upset. I hope for midway, then show their future together. I think that a lot of people feel like that because that would be the more satisfying ending. I don't want a book ending where it's like, married, bye. We're like, wait, what? Hi, Mame. Hi, Priya. I'm scared, but I'm also sad that it's ending tomorrow. Yeah, it's bittersweet. It really is bittersweet. I always feel this way, like whenever I'm ending a good series. This one feels a little different because it's only 3 seasons. I feel like we usually get at least 4 or 5, or if not more. So it is definitely hitting a little harder because it's just 3 seasons. At the same time, I think it does make sense for the story that they've been telling. There's so much more that they could do, but all of these actors are going on to such crazy projects and getting, like, bigger opportunities. I mean, Chris is, like, getting, things left and right. Lola's unbelievable. So, I mean, Lola already was in Hades Town. Chris had his own play. So, I think that it wouldn't have been the same if they made another season, if they carried on other seasons. I don't think they would have been able to do. We would have had a Euphoria situation where it would have been like 5 years later and we got season 4. Maybe we'll get a movie. I'm down for a movie. Straight to Amazon Prime movie. I think Belly and Conrad will have a fling in Paris. They'll do their own thing after, and then time jump. Her dad will get sick, or she'll come home for graduation or something, and then Conrad and Belly will be together. I could see, like, yeah, like a little fling, or just like, them having like something rekindled. The issue that I feel like I have with that is that at this point, they have made it abundantly clear that Conrad is not doing anything else with anybody. He's not dating, he's not attempting to date. There are no other love interests as far as like for him. He is like belly, belly, belly 24/7. And it's been like this for years at this point. I mean, just 6 within this season, and that's, like, not counting prior to when they first got together, like, it's been over a decade. So for them to have, like, a fling and then have something happen in the future, it almost gets to a point where it's like, it feels dragged out to a certain extent. Like, I just feel like they're like Conrad would we would I would assume that Conrad would just be sitting there for those years waiting for Belly. And it's making him, like, not interesting to me at certain points. Like, I don't it just feels weird to, like, keep dragging and dragging and like, if they were showing him, like, oh, he had a like, a relationship and it didn't work out, or, like, something again, like, emphasizing the thing with him and Agnes, like, maybe something they did try something and then they became friends but it's like, no, it's just Belly. So it's like, it almost feels like, just do it then. Just do it. Just do it. Why are we waiting so long? Hey, Ella. Have you seen Percy Jackson and the Olympians? I have. I reacted to the whole first season on Patreon, and I know that there is a second season coming, I believe in December. I really liked it. Do you think Adam and Kaylee broke up? I don't know. I almost hope that they did. I think that like, this is what was really interesting to me. I actually liked Kaylee. I think Kaylee was really sweet. I think Kaylee was very respectful to the boys. I think that she seemed like a very good person, but to incorporate the mistress you cheated on your wife who was dying of cancer with into becoming your partner and, like, being in that family's lives, I just that doesn't feel good to me. So I feel like that may have been an indication that Kaylee is no longer. I saw a wild theory on TT about how someone was saying that they thought that John was going to pass and Laurel and Adam were going to get together. Because in the books it's referenced that, like, they had dated before him and Susanna did, and like they were interpreting that scene where they were packing away all the food as, like, them being a little flirty, and I was like, I don't want that. I do not want that. But I do think that him and Kaylee broke up. Adam is poop. How many time jumps do you think will be in the finale? I don't know. They're kinda wild with these time jumps. Like, they're not even indicating, normally they'll be like 3 months later, 4 months later. This show just, like, jumps. Um, I think that we're probably gonna get, like, 2. I think we're gonna get 1 from the Benito and Belly situation, and then 1, like, vastly in the future. Hi, Giselle. I keep seeing theories about how Belly might not end up with Conrad and the comparisons between Sabrina. I think Linus parallels Jeremiah and David is Conrad, and if you've watched it, you might know why. I actually watched I've done a lot of things on Patreon that I don't put on YouTube just cuz it's so hard to edit things. It takes a lot of time. But I have watched both Sabrinas, the original and the remake. I loved them. And I, as well, have seen a lot of theories that are very compelling about Belly ending up with Jeremiah. I and, like, very convincing, in my opinion. I don't see it happening because I don't think that they are gutsy enough to give that kind of an ending. They know what everybody wants, and it's gonna be Conrad. I've said this like 1,000 times myself. Even though I have been Team Jeremiah, I knew from the very beginning it was Conrad. You can see they make it evidently clear that it's gonna be Conrad. In every love triangle, we all know. We actually talked about this in the last live stream. In every love triangle, we all know who's going to be endgame. Um, it's very rare. I think we said the High School Musical, the musical, the series, and that was because the main endgame left. And somebody else named another one, and I think it was maybe Vampire Diaries or something, but I haven't watched that. Um, but yeah, Giselle, I agree. Like, cannot even imagine Laurel and Adam. I know. I've seen a lot of compelling evidence to where if I believe that they were gutsy enough to do that, then I would be like, yeah, you know what? It might happen, but I don't think they are. I don't think they will. They know what I'll say most people want. Maybe in the future, a reunion. I could see that. actually am waiting for this shit to end because it's been annoying and aggravating with the discourse surrounding it. Yes. Excuse me. For those of you who weren't in before, I don't know if it's my allergies or if I'm getting sick. Of course, I would get sick the day before the finale. But excuse me if I sound raspy. That's how I feel, ma'am. Like, that's what I was, like, trying to say before. I'm so sad that it's ending because I love the show, but, people really I hate to say this, but people have ruined so much of the experience for me, and oh, speaking of, I'll put my junior mint over here. It's just it gets to be very loud and very draining, and, like, I had somebody comment that I should burn my junior mint because I'm team Jeremiah. Like, I should burn my junior mint because that's Conrad's gift to Belly, and I shouldn't have it because I'm team Jeremiah, and I was like, "Okay, like, really? Like, wouldn't you be excited that I have junior mint? I'm repping your love." Like, so yeah, it's very I almost like for the sake of Jenny too, like that whole thing that happened on her birthday where people were attacking her and it needs to end. It needs to end. Have you seen Wizards Beyond Waverly Place? I haven't. I loved Wizards of Waverly Place, but I actually have not seen that. There are so many things where I'm like, "Oh yeah, I need to see that. Oh yeah, I need to see that." And that is one that just kind of skips me. Still holding out hope because I honestly don't know how I feel about Bonrad. Also, why did people get in a relationship with Belly in the first place if his mom was dying? Bonrad's always used that excuse. Why did people get in a relationship with Belly in the first place? Bonrad's always used the excuse that Jeremiah got with Belly. Um, this is my thing. As I just said, I know it's gonna be Bonrad from the beginning because Conrad is clearly endgame. I have said many times before too that even though I'm team Jeremiah, I wouldn't curse off a Bonrad ending. It just has to make sense. And this is kind of what I was saying before with like they have not showed Conrad in any other relationships, attempting to date any other people. He has absolutely no eyes for anyone else but Belly. But it has been 10 years at this point. It has been 10 years. And it's like they're romanticizing of a relationship that happened so long ago that was very short-lived, not that it wasn't meaningful, but it was very short-lived, and then everything since then has just been rocky, rocky, rocky. They haven't shown any development, any of the 2 of them understanding who they are now as people, and we got a little bit of that when they were planning the wedding and everything, but they weren't fully allowed to experience it and experience each other because Belly was engaged to Jeremiah. So I need the show to show me that that love is still real and stable because I've had that happen before where like I've had like a fling with somebody and I hadn't seen them in a long time and then I'm like, "Oh my god, I'm seeing them again. This is so exciting." And then I'm like, "Oh wait, no. No, this isn't going to work. No, you're not that person anymore." So like I need to I'm one of the team Jeremiah yelling that I need to see Conrad and Belly together. I need to see them together because we haven't gotten that. It's all just been like so like crying and sad and emotions and like I need to see them and see how they would be together in order to be like, yeah, Bonrad makes sense at this point in time. Do you think Percy Jackson season 2 reactions could be on YouTube? It's a big fan base. Yeah, actually, I am probably going to do the edits for season 2 because like the summer I turned pretty, I tend to love doing shows that are weekly because I don't have a rush to get all the edits out. So like for for reactors that are big, they can do any show that they want and it gets views. For reactors like me, actually let's see what I'm at. I don't even know what I'm at. I almost hit 10K. Um for a reactors like me, if I don't get the episodes out really fast, people just kind of lose interest, and I don't get a lot of views. So if it's like a Netflix show and like 10 episodes drop at once, I am exhausted for the next 2, 3 days because I'm reacting, editing. But with weekly shows, it's I watch it and then I edit it and I'm good for a week. So I will most likely do that. Oh, that's interesting. So my last episode is partially blocked. Where is it blocked? Oh, Russia. Okay. Harry Styles. It's Harry Styles' fault. That's fine. I am at 9,790. So I have 210 more followers to hit 10K. So if you haven't, subscribe, please. Subscribe, please. Money, please. Up, 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 up. Yeah, it's weird that he is not even trying to move on. It makes no sense. This 23-year-old won't move on from a high school relationship is very interesting and just weird. I think, like, again, you always are going to have like that one love or like that reminiscing feeling of a person that you were in love with where you may not have gotten closure from something. I think it's the weird thing for me is that it's 100% focused on Belly all the time. It's odd to me that he hasn't had any other situations. And someone actually brought up in the comments, well, like he's had a relationship with Agnes. Let me know what you guys think. What do you all think? Do you think that now in the show, because in the book they reference that like him and Agnes were hooking up, they tried something, it didn't work out, and she was like kind of upset about it, but moved on and they were friends. In the show, I don't feel like they indicated that they had hooked up because it's only referenced very quickly when Conrad is talking about the flashback of the first time that he was hanging out with Belly and Jeremiah at the beach. And it's like during that conversation, and she says something like, he's like, I'm not great at relationships. You, of all people, should know that. And then she was like, yeah, I know. You made that adamantly clear from the beginning. I was the one who pushed the matter, whatever, it's old news. I took that as Agnes had a thing for him. He said no, he didn't want a relationship. She tried to pursue it and nothing happened because he didn't want a relationship. But somebody in the comments was like, "No, I took that as like they tried." And then he was like, "I don't want a relationship," and then it ended. But I didn't take it like that because she said you made it clear from the beginning. So, I don't think that, like, from the beginning, like, there would be nothing that happened because from the beginning, he was clearly he didn't want anything. That's how I took it, but I don't know, what do you think? Like, do you think he had a thing with Agnes in the show? I thought it was completely one-sided. But, like, yeah, if they showed Conrad have even, like, remote like, even just, like, going on a date and not enjoying it. You know what I mean? Like, going on a date and just being like, "Yeah, I am not feeling it," or something like that, then that like, the whole swooning over Belly for so long would make sense because it's like, okay, like, your heart's just somewhere else, I get that, but to not even attempt it, just, like, I don't know, it gives me, in my opinion, it makes me feel like there's like a bizarre element to it. It makes it feel like he's not giving himself a chance to experience other situations in life. I really don't believe in the theories about the Bellinger ending because of the reason you gave. Yeah, it's just again, like, there are some very, very compelling arguments where even I remember watching a video and the girl was like, "All right, I'm gonna tell you why Belly and Jared get endgame," and I was like and then I was like, "Oh, like, that's actually really good." But, yeah, I don't see it happening. They also showed Jeremiah kissing another girl soon after the breakup again. Um, the kitchen in the at Thanksgiving, is that what you're talking about? My queen. Hi, Sophie. Someone said that that's wild. About junior men? Yeah, oh, Athena, I've gotten some wild comments. I've gotten more nice than wild, I will say that, but the ones that are wild that come through, I've had burn junior men. I've had, my relationship attacked, that my partner should go to therapy. I've been called stupid AF. I there's been a lot. There's been a lot. I've been called a red flag. Wizards Beyond Waverly Place season 2 comes out October 8th. Oh, it got renewed. That's cool. That's good to hear. October 8th, Disney Plus. Good. So I will thoroughly have listened to the new Taylor Swift album and then can watch it on on October 8th. The side eye I gave when someone told you to burn your junior mint, like what? I want a junior mint. So I bought it, it was just a polar bear I bought on Amazon. First of all, why have they not sold a junior mint? Amazon Prime. Get on that. How could you not? Do you know how much money they would freaking make if they sold a junior mint? It's crazy. How have they not sold a junior mint? But anyway, I got this on Amazon. He is just a polar bear. And I think he was like 20 bucks. And then I got the glasses with it. These were like $5. I don't have a scarf for him yet though. There are people on Etsy that have knitted little scarves. So I'm probably gonna get one of those at some point. And then Junior Mint can officially be Junior Mint because he's not Junior Mint. He's like off duty right now without the scarf. I need to stop talking so much and read these comments. Before I lose my place. Why did Conrad get in a relationship with Belly? I don't see, I'm not surprised that Conrad got into a relationship with Belly because it was clear that he did like her. What I didn't like was that and this comes back to the conversation that they had in the last episode. I loved the conversation at the cemetery. I wanted more, and I feel like certain things should have been talked about deeper and they weren't. And I didn't love how Conrad was like, well, like when you got together with Belly after we had dated, that killed me. So like I get how you feel with me coming in here now. And it's like, okay, but then what if, like, let's move back a step further. You got into a relationship with Belly knowing that her and Jeremiah were about to get into a relationship and you didn't think that that killed Jeremiah, like why wasn't that part brought up? You know, like I don't think that somebody should stifle their own emotions because of somebody else, and that applies to both Jeremiah and Conrad. So I don't think that Conrad shouldn't have gotten into the relationship. I do think that he shouldn't have ignored that Jeremiah clearly was not okay with it, because we have like the whole conversation of when Jeremiah is paying the bills and he gets his blessing. Like Conrad could tell that it wasn't okay, and he kind of made Belly believe that it was, because she's like, "Oh, Jeremiah's over it." And he's like, "Yeah, I think he is." And it's like, "No, you don't." You do not think that. Like, you know he's not. You clearly saw he wasn't. So there were just a few digs that I feel like he made that were not justified in my opinion. And so it just I get why Conrad got together with her, but I think that there are definitely conversations to be had about why they both did certain things. I'm worried Belly and Conrad will end up together and then not much footage of the relationship in the future. This episode could be movie length. I wish it was. Apparently it's only gonna be an hour and 17 minutes. And I know a lot of people are worried about that. A lot of people are worried that we're not gonna get enough Bonrad. I'm more concerned about getting enough Bonrad prior to them getting married. I think that a lot of people think it's just gonna jump right into like they're married and then it's gonna end. I really hope it doesn't do that. I want like an established, this is why Bonrad is endgame and this is why they're going to get married. And I hope that we get enough of that. That's my biggest issue with the show. We didn't hear enough of Belly's and her thoughts, and we didn't get to see them together in a relationship. Yeah, and you know, Athena, I was thinking about this, and At first, I understood why they skipped the 4 years. I don't understand why we didn't get any flashbacks of the relationship during like those 4 years. We got like the 2-minute montage of like sweet moments when they broke up of them on campus, but we got like no relationship flashbacks, good or bad, honestly. And so I'm like, all right, whatever, timing, pacing, I guess they just couldn't do that. Then we just skipped through like how many years? And like how many months for Belly in Paris? Like we were just like jump, 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 jump. So like they clearly could have done that. I feel like part of episode 1, I feel like could have been like what they're doing in Paris with Belly and Jeremiah's relationship. And so it kind of annoys me that they didn't do that. I was gonna let it pass at first, and then after seeing that, I was like, so you could have did it. I mean, 6-month relationship a decade ago. I'm honestly surprised he is still falling that hard. I mean, I can't exactly judge because I had a similar situation, not for that long, but it was for years. That's my thing. Like again, I've been in situations where like I've held on to a relationship longer than I should have, or like the memory of one, but like the intensity to which he brings it is like supposed to be like that's how much he is in love. Isn't that beautiful? And to me it would be if he was attempting other relationships and that was showing him that no, Belly is the only one. I think that's what it is for me. It's like, how do you even know that Belly is the only one if you're not trying it? If you're not trying, like it's like you're not proving to yourself that it is. But I think that's supposed to be the point. It's like he doesn't need to have it proved. He knows. But like, come on. That's like saying you don't like peanut butter, but you've never tried peanut butter before. How do you know? It's delicious. Maybe you do. Maybe you do. Girl, I need a junior mint in my household immediately. Also, would you be interested in watching We Were Liars? I feel it you would like it. So I actually have to message them. I had a Patreon message me, and it's someone who's requested things before, and they had asked me, "Have you watched We Were Liars?" And I said, "No, but I keep seeing it pop up on my Amazon." And they were like, "Don't watch it because I'm pretty sure I'm going to request it next month. It's so good. So like don't watch it on your own." And I was like, "Okay." And that was like 2 months ago. So I don't know what happened. So I'm going to ask them and be like, "Are you going to request it or cuz I kind of do want to watch it, but I guess I kind of have to wait for them." So editing Wednesday was hard. Oh, yes, it was very hard. It was very hard. Editing is always hard. The easiest episode that had edited was episode 9. And a big part of that was they played so much music and I can't put music in my YouTube edits. I could put like tiny, tiny little snippets, but I can't put a lot. Otherwise, YouTube flags the video. And so I think I edited episode 9 in under 2 hours, and normally it takes me like at least 4. Some episodes have taken me like 7 or 8. Yes, because the show is really trying to convince you this relationship when all of it is mostly in the past. And even though they say Conrad has grown and changed, I can't really say he has. That's the thing. Like these last few episodes, we've definitely seen bigger changes, but we didn't see enough with him interacting with people, right? Like we've seen that like the way that he is approaching certain things and reacting to certain things has changed slightly, but like the old him is still in there a little bit. We need to see him like have conversations with anybody else other than Laurel. And then I'll see if he's changed. And I think that that's why it was good that they had the conversation with Steven in this episode or the last episode, where he expressed like, I miss us, I miss the 3 of us, like I miss us being together, I miss us hanging out. Like I need to see him have those conversations with other people, and that will show that he has changed. Agnes did like him in the books. I believe they were together. Yeah, Caroline, that's what I'm saying. In the books, she definitely liked him and they definitely were together. Like they referenced them like hooking up. Like I'm pretty sure they've even slept together. And she wanted it to be more and he didn't. But in the show, I didn't get that. I didn't get that indication at all. In the show, I got that she liked him and wanted it to be more. And he was like, from the beginning, no, I don't want a relationship or anything. Conrad also talked to Agnes in one episode and he said Agnes didn't get it. And Agnes said, I don't know what it's like to be in love with someone who will never love me back. Yeah, that was when Conrad was deciding to go to if he was going to go to the memorial or not. Yeah, that was the second time. I think that was it. It was just those two times. Because my whole argument was like that's actually a good point. They brought that up. But my argument was like, but you could still be friends with somebody and feel like that. Like you don't have to hook up with somebody or be like dating somebody to fall for somebody. We see friends to lovers all the time. So I don't think that they hooked up in the show. No, I didn't think he was with Agnes. The way she said it, it makes it seem that relationship never even started. That's what I took from it. This girl on TikTok is Islaville Islavillo gave some compelling belly jar endgames or endings to me. I don't know if I've seen her. I watch Corinne. Corinne is really good. She's like on her shit. Paige, I like Paige a lot. I can't remember the other girl. She's really good too. But yeah, they were giving some like Paige and Corinne were giving some like real hard evidence. And like you can see Corinne's even laughing like when she does it. She's like, I know that this is probably not gonna happen, but she's like, why lose hope now? I'm like, yeah, girl, I'll get it. Oh my god, this fandom is the worst. It really is, and that makes me sad. Like, I love all of you. You're wonderful, but some people in this fandom are just like wild. Can someone remind me of the story of Junior Mint and the name? I don't know if there was one. I don't think there was. I think that for some reason he was just Junior Mint. I don't actually recall any. Does anybody in here know? Maybe someone said it already. I honestly think they all suck at communicating. None of them know how to just say their feelings. Oh no. None of them know how to say their feelings and none of them know how to say them without throwing digs at each other because like again, I did like the conversation at the cemetery, but they were both still throwing jabs at each other. I was like, guys, this is like months later. We're supposed to have growth and like understanding, and they were both still like throwing jabs at each other. I was just like, oh God. That scene at the cemetery made me mad because a lot of the things Conrad was saying, not just this episode, but the whole season seemed inaccurate. Like when he said Jeremiah jumped at the chance with Belly. Yeah, so I rewatched that scene a few times, and my issue with it is ironically relating to communication, like we were just talking about. Jeremiah doesn't know a lot of the things from Conrad's side, and Conrad doesn't know a lot of the things that happen from Jeremiah's side. So they're still both building off their assumptions from interpretations of how they think things went down. Like, obviously, again, like Conrad still had no idea that Jeremiah even knew about Christmas. He had just found out in that moment. Jeremiah told him. And like, so like Conrad's saying to Jeremiah, like, you jumped at the chance of being with Belly. Who was jumping? Because Belly pursued Jeremiah the entire season. The entire season 2, it was Belly. Jeremiah was literally the one saying, no, 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 I don't think this is a good idea. And then even when they first kissed at the college, he literally before they kissed was like, I can't do this again. I can't, like, if I fall again, I forget exact words, but he something along the lines of like, if I fall again, like I'm going to be destroyed if it doesn't go through, kind of. And she was like, no, kiss me anyway, and pursued the kiss. Then Jeremiah had the conversation with Conrad about, like, if she picks you, I will walk away. I will not get in the middle of this. I will not get in the middle of this again. So I wouldn't say, like, any of that was jumping at the chance to be with Belly, right? Like, she pursued him. He made it adamantly clear that he didn't wanna fall again unless she was sure, and then he talked to Conrad about how he didn't feel comfortable being with her if they wanted to be together still. So, jumping to me is like Belly gives an indication that there's something there, and he's like, "Yes, girl, let's do it." And that's not what he did. I think Agnes and Conrad were hooking up, but, like, back to, like, he how do you explain all of that? You know what I mean? Like, are they gonna have, like, a minute-long scene of Jeremiah being like, "Well, just so you know." That's what, like, frustrates me about this season is, like, I don't know what it is, but season 1 and 2, they were able to portray these conversations and, like, get everything that needed to be said and out. And there's something about the dialogue in season 3, there's, like, always something missing, in my opinion. It's never, like, fully satisfying. Hi, Emily. I think Agnes and Conrad were hooking up, but he made it clear from the start that it won't progress into a relationship because he's not good at relationships. That's possible. That's possible that that's what that was indicating, that, like, they were hooking up, but from the beginning, he didn't want a relationship. I just feel like they should have indicated that more. And, like, cause, like, I think what trips me up is the reason it comes up is they're at the bar and there's, like, a girl looking at him or something, and Agnes is like, "Ooh, like, she wants to get it in," or whatever she says, and then he laughs and he's like, "You of all people should know that I'm not good at relationships," and Agnes says, "Well, first of all, who said anything about a relationship? And secondly, yeah, you made that adamantly clear from the beginning." So I almost felt like her saying that, like, his mind immediately jumped to relationship and never even jumped to hookup. That's what also made me feel like they hadn't hooked up, because his mind, like, isn't even on, like, hookup level. It's just immediately relationship. Honestly, the conversation at the cemetery made me feel like I was being gaslit because there were certain things he was pointing fingers, but he was to blame, and it felt like he was not admitting his, yeah, him admitting his faults. I feel like I had a lot more to say after I watched that scene a second time. I think I was just so hyper focused on the two of them making amends and, like, being okay, that I didn't dissect it enough into, like, what I just kept saying, like, I wanted a little more. I wanted a little more. And then it, like, I think everything happened so fast. So after I got to watch it another time, I was like, that's why I wanted more, because nothing was getting worked out. They were just saying a bunch of things. They were just saying a bunch of things. It went from, like, let's figure out our shit to, like, let's just, like, sum up what happened over the last 2 seasons. And it was a little frustrating, and kind of like what I was just saying before with jumping at the chance of Belly. Um there was also, he said, like, the belly is not an object, and then he goes on to say, like, as if a ring could make somebody yours. And I'm like, but Belly accepted the proposal before Jeremy Maya even said it. So you're like, you're talking about how she's not an object, she shouldn't be treated like that. And then you're just assuming that he, like, convinced Belly to marry him, as if she doesn't get a choice, as if she wasn't, like, a player in this game, you know? So it felt weird. Like, he finally got the chance to get in front of Jeremiah and, like, have a conversation. Like, he's been trying so hard, like, he just wants to be with his brother, he just wants to say he's sorry, and then, like, he yelled at him. He yelled at him for, like, 5 minutes straight, and I was like, "This feels weird." Like, exactly how I felt about that, especially when he was the one who said Belly's not an object when Even Taylor said he picks her up and puts her down whenever he wants like a toy. He hasn't changed. Yeah, I think that they've both treated her kind of like that in certain ways. And so for Conrad to throw that in Jeremiah's face felt kind of weird. They were talking about Belly, Conrad, and Agnes. I don't know what that was in reference to. I'm so behind. Let's go through these. Hi, Lucas. Ayo, how are we? We're doing good. We're getting excited for the finale. I'm so excited. See you tomorrow. Got to go to the bar for the finale party. Joshua, have so much fun. It sounds so amazing. Just finished work and I cannot wait. Yes. We have a few hours. Oh, makes sense. I just had to put We Were Liars out there because I recently binged it like crazy. LOL. Yes. I also like the main girl that's in We Were Liars. I can't remember her name in the show, but she was in the reboot of Gossip Girl, and I really liked her character. Hey, Nat. I've always thought that it's not just Conrad that can't communicate. Oh, yeah. They're all like this. I mean, honestly, Belly, I feel like, is the worst because she only communicates in her head to us. As a big believer in not showing everything, I hope they skip past some small parts or whatever to focus on the main thing we're waiting for. Yeah, I mean, at this point, you got one episode left, you get 1 hour. Use it wisely. Jared and Conrad were both fandom. Jared and Conrad were both fandoms. Yeah, they really. That's what I thought was kind of funny because like the object comment is definitely a thing that I see Team Jeremiah say a lot. So I thought it was interesting that they gave it to Conrad. I mean, they all have trouble, but I think a lot of it is Conrad. Definitely in the first 2 seasons, for sure. Like, I always start with, I understand why, I empathize with why, I get why. But the emotional unavailability from Conrad in seasons 1 and 2 were astounding. And again, I get it. I'm not picking on him, for it. I understand it, but if you have ever been involved with somebody who was that emotionally unavailable and did the things that Conrad did, you understand what a mental prison it is. I have dated somebody like that, and it was horrible, and I loved them, and I know that they loved me, but it was horrible having to navigate that. And so I think that's why I empathize with it, but it's just it is I can't just excuse it as he was depressed. It doesn't take away from what happened and the pain that was given. It was a month though people are saying he was it was a month though people are saying he was lying. It was a month though people are saying he was lying. I don't know what that was in reference to. It's all of them, and to be honest, it's many of us too. Yeah. Hi, Mega. I am just sad that we didn't get to see more of Belly and Conrad together, like together. Yeah, that's what I was saying before. Like, I am not one of these I'm gonna spit on the show if they make Conrad endgame, because I know that Conrad's gonna be endgame. I need them to show me why Conrad is endgame. We know that they have love. We know that it's true. We know that they were good for each other and together when they were together. That was 10 years ago. I need to see it now. I want to see it now. They need to show it now. Jeremiah did flirt, though. Did flirt with who? Jeremiah did flirt, though. Jeremiah is a flirt. Flirt with who, what, when, where, why? Whoa. Wait. Nah. It's Twitter. I knew Taylor wouldn't drop anything this late, but I gotta check. It's funny because when Conrad doesn't communicate, people get mad. Now he's talking too much and they're mad he can't win. I don't think for me, it's you don't have to hurt yourself to get my attention. I'm not gonna lie, I loved that line. I thought that was cute. Um, it's not that he's talking too much. It's that again, what I was saying with the cemetery conversation is both of them are doing it, but they both have assumptions and made up thoughts as to what happened and why things happened the way that they were, and they don't understand that it didn't happen that way. Like in certain situations, like it didn't, like again, like Jeremiah being like, you were a snake in the grass trying to steal Belly from me all summer. We know that that's not what happened. Things were just happening, emotions were coming up. And then Conrad being like, you can't make somebody Belly's not an object, you can't make her yours with a ring. We know that that's not what happened. Belly jumped at the chance of marrying him before he even got the words out. So it's like, I think on Conrad's side, he's waited so long to talk to Jeremiah to rekindle their relationship, and then spent majority of the time being like, well, you slept with someone else when you were with Belly, and you tried to make her into an object by giving her a ring. And I understand why you were neglecting all these other things, but it's like they didn't really talk about like the dynamic of them. Like when you finally get him in front of you and you want to fix you, and then you talk about Belly. So it's like I felt like he wasn't talking about the right things. Thank you, God. It's like the show is rewriting certain things that happen in service of the end game and to give Conrad growth. That's exactly what it is, in my opinion. I mean, I've been saying that for somebody actually got really mad at me in the comments of this last episode and was like, you you keep saying how like the show is bad writing for Jeremiah, but you've never said that about any of the other characters. And when something happens that you don't like, it's just them being bad characters. And I was like, that's not true. I've said many times in my previous reactions that I think everybody's being written poorly this summer. I've gone into Laurel so many times. The way that they're presenting Laurel is horrible. Certain things that they're doing for Conrad is horrible. I've brought that up many times, and they were like, show me the episodes. And I was like, I don't know, watch my reactions. Like, not for nothing. I do. I have Patreon and YouTube. Between the two of them, I have like a minimum of 50 to 80 videos a month that I'm doing. I cannot tell you a timestamp of where I said that specific thing. But like I definitely think that a big part of the season's writing was trying to make everybody jump ship to go to Conrad. And like not I feel like that's lazy writing, because you should just make him the superior choice. You shouldn't have to destroy a character to make another one good. But two, you're not doing it good enough. In my opinion, if I'm like, okay, I'll take the blinders off. Let's focus on Conrad. What are you doing to him that's good? That's where I got into like I feel like his character's being disserviced too, because Agnes gets him this job and he like blows it off. He still can't talk to Steven after they were like best friends in seasons 1 and 2. He has no relationships with anybody else except for Laurel. He's not going to therapy sessions anymore. It's like they were doing the same thing with Conrad, in my opinion. They kept building him up, like, here are all these great things for him, and then they didn't show any of the things. So I just like I don't know. The writing this year is not my fave. Not my fave. It's sort of hard when you don't always get her inner thoughts. Yeah, it is, because Belly is so hot and cold with a lot of things and changes her feelings, I feel like, with a lot of things. So it's like you really do need to kind of be in her head to get an idea of like what she's feeling. I hate when people say he inserted himself in Conrad and Belly's relationship when they weren't together in season 1 in the first place, and he showed rare interest until later. Yeah, I don't think he inserted himself. I see that a lot too. I don't think he inserted himself. I think that Jeremiah's point of view episode in season 2 showed that, in my opinion, that he had liked her for a long time, even before she was pretty, and that when she arrived that summer, that's when he really was like, I'm going to go for it. And if you rewatch season 1, a lot of the scenes that a lot of, I feel, people that are Team Conrad are like, "Oh, they're best friends, they're best friends." Sure, you could see it like that, but you could also see it as he is making an effort to flirt with her, to try and ignite something with her. And even Belly herself is when she's talking to Cam. He's like, he picks up that there's something between her and Jeremiah, and she is like, Conrad, and he's like, no, Jeremiah, and she's like, oh, no, he flirts with everybody. Like, I think that people, like, I think that this show has showed us a lot that, like, certain things that the audience is perceiving is like how Belly perceives certain things too. So it's like Belly is like, no, he flirts with everybody. It's like, that's just like, we're friends. It's like, no, he's flirting with you because he wanted to start something with you. I feel like that's what they were trying to show and say. So, like, if anything, they were inserting each other into each other's issues. Because, like, again, like, we know that Belly's always kind of like Conrad, but Conrad never really showed that he liked Belly until season 1, because we get like cute flashbacks of them dancing, and this season we got cute flashbacks of when they were little. He looks out for her, but that wasn't like a crush. That was just like cute moments where they were sweet with each other and things were building. Conrad himself actually says to Cleveland, I always saw her as a little kid until this summer. Prior to this summer, I've always seen her as a little kid. This summer, everything changed. So, like, they both boys were going for her, figuring out their emotions, and then kind of inserting themselves in each other's things. Again, like, I don't, it's interesting that so many people see like their side of it, but can't see how it's so similarly paralleled to the other side. The amount of time jumps we were getting this season. Yeah, it's crazy. I was rewatching Watch What Happens Next channel, and he said Jeremiah was naive and selfish. Jeremiah is a very sensitive guy, and yes, can be very naive, but I don't know about selfish. I think that they can all be selfish. I think that the things that Jeremiah does that people perceive as being selfish, like, when you're selfish, you're doing this in order to gain something for yourself. I don't think Jeremiah does that. I think that he just questions things a lot. I think that he gets confused by things a lot. I think that he tries to not manipulate, but like, it's like almost like it's his way of understanding. Like, a lot of people are like, "Oh, like Belly always gives in to him. He always gaslights her." And I'm like, "I don't think that's what it is. I think it's that Belly doesn't voice what she wants or what her opinion truly is." So then Jeremiah gives reasons for why this is a good thing, and then Belly's like, "Okay," and reassures him that it is, and then he's like, "Okay, yeah, that's the way it is." Like, I don't think he is selfish in that way. He kind of was petty in season 1 with the firework and talking to Nicole. People throw the word gaslighting around all the time. Yeah, he was petty for that. He was petty for that. Um, but again, I don't think like it's like a tit for tat thing. Like, I don't think he was inserting like, okay, technically, I guess you could say that was inserting himself because, yeah, he was trying to stop them from kissing. But then you could say that Conrad was doing the same thing when they picked him up from the little lake adventure. She chooses to go with Jeremiah, and he texts her, like, hey, you up? Here's the infinity necklace. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, I don't see how it's not okay for Jeremiah to act petty in certain situations, but it's totally fine for Conrad to do it. I think that they were both on an even playing field. I also don't think I think it's interesting that so many people bring up the talking to Nicole. I never see that as an issue. And the reason is because of Conrad. So him going to Nicole, and being like, "Yeah, you should totally invite Conrad to the concert," and everything, was clearly him trying to push that situation to happen. I'm not denying that. But when him and Conrad have a conversation about it, Conrad brings up, "Nicole's asked me to go to this concert." Jeremiah says, "Are you gonna go?" And he goes, "Yeah, of course I am. Why wouldn't I?" Like, in my opinion, if Jeremiah never did that, the situation wouldn't have changed. You know what I mean? So it's like, you can say that it was petty, sure, but it would not have changed anything. Conrad was literally like, "Yeah, of course I'm going to go. Why wouldn't I?" She was already going to ask him. Jeremiah was just like pushing, "Yeah, you should." She was already going to. He was already going to say yes. Like, so I don't see that as being an issue at all, or something to argue over. This show has become a part of my personality. It's crazy at this point, especially the part where he says she's not an object or competition. But when you look at it, he was the one that did that because he was the one that got with Belly when he found out that Belly and Jer were hooking up. Yeah, see, that's another example of, again, they've both interjected in certain ways. I mean, the only reason, oh, I just slid down. The only reason Conrad texted Belly about the Deb ball was because Steven said that they had heard a rumor that they were hooking up. He had no intentions of doing so, and immediately went on the phone and said something when he heard that. That's another interesting thing too, is like, everybody's like, Conrad had no idea. When Belly told him on the beach, he was shocked. He wasn't shocked. He wasn't shocked. He didn't know that they had kissed already, but he obviously knew that something was happening, again, because that, like, there were literally rumors about them hooking up. He knew something was going on, and he didn't go to Jeremiah and talk to him. But then we also have, again, Belly picking to go in his car. Belly was going to go to the dead ball with him. Like, he knew something was happening, and he didn't talk to Jer about it. The engagement was a way to hold on to her, in my opinion. He isn't wrong. I will say that the engagement was a way to hold on to her. I agree with that. I don't think that was his only reason, though. Like, I think that he truly loves her and wanted to hold on to her and did want to marry her. Like, I don't think he was doing it just to keep her there. I think Jenny was taking stuff from the fandom. I think she was too. And giving it to Conrad to say to Jeremiah, because Conrad's been saying the same things as the fandom. It's too familiar. Yeah, I could see that, to just like jazz it up. It's just, again, like, if you want to get back to character assassination, it's just interesting to me that the thing that Jenny takes from the fandom is Conrad saying, "Jeremiah, she's not an object." And then the thing that Jenny takes from the fandom and gives to Jeremiah is Conrad. Okay. Like, something that I have never said, by the way, but I know that that's a thing that people have said. Kind of, yeah, but I don't think it was because of the cheating. I don't know what that was in reference to. There is many times where Jer says she chose me, she picked me. He says it to both Floral and Conrad. Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with that. She did choose him. And yes, about that ring comment, because did he think that just maybe he proposed because he loved her and wanted to be with and wanted to be with him as well? That makes Belly seem like she has no agency, which is just ugh. Yeah, that's basically what I was saying. Like, again, she accepted the proposal before he even got it out. And I think he really wanted to, because he did love her. And yeah, and again, are we completely ignoring that Belly was an active participant in this situation with, like, again, where Conrad says, like, giving a ring it can make somebody yours. No, it can't. The person has to say, "Yes, I wanna be yours," and she said that. So, it's like, I don't see it that way. And honestly, Conrad should have known that part. Like, Conrad knows that, like, that Belly has to accept the proposal in order to be engaged. So, it's like you're completely ignoring the fact that Belly said yes and putting all blame on Jeremiah as if a ring can make somebody yours. I don't know. I just didn't get it. I think it's because Jeremiah still can't believe Belly would actually choose him, which is understandable, but when he said it to Laurel, that just didn't sound right. When did was it when he said it to Laurel, that just didn't sound right. Like he was advocating to Laurel like she picked me? Is that what you're saying? But did he expect she would just? I need to get glasses, man. My glasses are so scratched up, I need new ones. But did he expect she would forget loving Conrad? He deserves to be with someone that loves all of him and his snotty tissues. That was so gross. Ew. I think they put that in. You know what's funny? Again, book things that were taken for Conrad and to Jeremiah. The one thing that they take from Jeremiah's book, Jeremiah, is his snotty tissues. Go figure. That was the thing that they said in the book because, like, Belly says that one of the things that annoys her about him is he leaves his snotty tissues all over because of his allergies. So go figure. That's what they take from the book for Jeremiah. Um, I don't think he expected to forget her to forget loving Conrad. I think that they both were under the impression that she would be able to move past it. I think when Belly says, Conrad Fisher, I evict you from my heart. I evict you from my heart. You can't just say it and make it true. And she finds that out. But she had every intention of trying to get over him and moving past that because he was not receptive to wanting to be in a relationship. And then them being together and showing that they were committed proved to Jeremiah that she was over him. And then it wasn't until Christmas that he realized that that might not be the case and her the same. And people call Belly an unreliable narrator a lot because of her feelings towards Conrad, but I'd act that way too, especially in season 3. Yeah, I think the unreliable narrator thing comes in because she gets so caught up and emotional in one moment and it's like everything to her and nothing else could compare. And then something else happens and she has the same feeling. That's what makes it unreliable for me, right? Like, she literally in the car before, when they pick her up from the lake, she, like, looks into Jeremiah's eyes, and she, like, takes his hand. She's like, "Feel my heart. My heart's beating so fast." And then in her head, she's like, I'm kissing Jeremiah Fisher, and this feels so right. And I knew I would be scared, but like I'm not. I'm comfortable." And like there's all this like love and emotion and like passion. And then in the next episode, Conrad kisses her, and she's like, "Oh, I want to be with him." So I think that's what makes her the unreliable narrator. I agree Belly is the worst at communicating, but I can't blame her because the boys aren't the best at communicating also, and it makes it confusing for her. Yeah, that's what and again, I think it's important to remember that they're all teenagers. Not now, but in seasons 1 and 2, they were all teenagers. The teenagers' emotions are all over the place. So they're not gonna be good at communicating. I think it's because of the memory of the dog. Yeah, but like, come on, it's a dog. Um, I'm trying to think of what the dog's name was, and I can't think of it. I I get it's part of the character. If you suffer quietly for too long, at some point things are going to come out and maybe not in the best way. That's what's up that's what's up with him. But that's also what makes the character real. That's true, and that's a good point. It's like You finally get the chance, and then it's just word vomit. It's just like, "Blah," like, I have so many things to say that I can't, like, compartmentalize them. I just have to say all these things and, get out what I want. So that, yeah, I can see that, that makes sense. What do you think of the theory Belly's dad is going to have a heart attack to bring her back home? Yeah, I was talking about that before. I see a lot of that. I don't want it to be true. I don't want it to be true. But I think that they emphasized too much attention on that for it to not be that. So I could see that happening. I really hope that John doesn't pass, but I could definitely see it happening. I will complain about how Steven has had a downgrade. I don't believe they give Bonrad. Oh, I will complain about how Steven has had a downgrade. Um, I didn't like that they had Steven and Taylor cheating on their partners. That to me was definitely a downgrade. Um, Everything else I feel like is kind of on board for Steven for me though. I like that he's like the comic relief. I don't believe they give Bonrad Jelly's nachos. I have seen them say that maybe Conrad teaching her to dance as a child was really jelly because now they are saying it's their thing. Um it, it wasn't Jeremiah's thing. The thing about that, so in the book, they have a flashback where Susanna is dancing with Jeremiah and then tells Conrad to dance with Belly. And I think he maybe says like no at first. I might be wrong about that part, but I think he says no at first, and then she's like, "Do it," and they dance, and it's like a cute moment. In the show, Conrad just goes and teaches Belly to dance and dances with Belly. So the difference there is that they changed the flashback in the show to be solely a sweet moment of Conrad taking it upon himself to show Belly how to dance. When in the book, it wasn't that at all. So I think that's when, like, that's not necessarily the best example of Bonrad getting Jelly's nachos, but it's a version of it because it's like, well, why didn't you just keep the flashback the same or incorporate, other people dancing instead of making it a sweet moment where Jeremiah is dancing with Susanna, Susanna has Belly dance with Conrad. You made it Conrad took it upon himself to dance with Belly and do something sweet. And I think that's like myself included, that's what a lot of jellies are angry about is like every flashback, like the bike scene is adorable scene. Conrad stays behind to help Belly with her bike, and Jeremiah and Steven are just like, "Meh, she's boring and a loser," and drive away or whatever. That was Jeremiah in the books in a different way. Jeremiah in the books is catching sand crabs with Belly. Steven and Conrad are like, "We're gonna go to a video game, and if you don't come with us, you can't play it." And he's like, "I don't care. I want to stay with Belly." And then later on, they're playing they have a wonderful night. And then later on, they're playing the video game, and they won't let Jeremiah play. And she says, "I could see it bothered him, but he didn't care, and he still stayed with me, and he was fine with his choice." So it's like, again, they're not exactly the same, but they're definitely taking certain situations from the book from Jeremiah that were positive and just solely making them positive for Conrad. They turned Steven into Taylor. I could see that. Yeah, they did. I mean, that kind of makes a little sense though, with as much time as they spent together and as you know, as much as he is in love with her. When will you post your reaction tomorrow? So my boyfriend leaves at 6:30 and I am going to be seated watching it at 6:30. If it's an hour and 17 minutes with me talking, I'll probably be done around 8. It'll be on Patreon, fully unedited at 8 o'clock. I will hopefully be able to edit it within 3 hours. So, like, by 11 a.m. noon, it should be up, hopefully. Have to go. Have a good night, girlie. So excited to watch the finale and can't wait for your reaction. Sophia, I hope you really enjoy it. I think that we're all gonna be happy with the way it turns out. I'm Team Conrad. In a way, Team Conrad has been asking for Belly yearning. I don't agree. She was in season 1 and her whole life. However, since season 2 and 3, I think we need to see why she's choosing him. Yeah, I definitely agree that Belly has been yearning. Belly yearned hard in season 1. So we've definitely seen that from her side. I think that we do need to see why she's choosing him, and I think that that is the point of everything that's happening in Paris, where she's now finding herself, she's now gaining her adulthood, she has her first apartment, she's having different relationships, she's moving on from cousins and having her own world. And even after all of that, if she's still able to find her way back to Conrad and choose him, it's because she knows that, like, that is still what she wants. And so I would like to see that, and I would like to see um more from Conrad. It's really not the Belly side of it for me. I need to see why Conrad, after being away from her for so long, not really knowing this person anymore, is still so just captivated by her. Because I feel like it's for in order to be in love with her as intensely as he is right now, he's still in love with the past her because he doesn't know her. Um, so I wonder if we're going to have a conversation about that because Belly did bring that up at one point too, right? Like, you don't even know me right now, but you can see that the old Belly is still in there. And Conrad talks about that in his letters. Like, I wonder what Paris Belly is like. So I want to see more of that. In the present, why should they be together and need the show to stop living in the past and live in the present? Yeah, a lot of their things are past things because we don't have anything of the present to work off of. The only thing from the present that we have to work off of was episode 5, and that was again in Conrad's head and mostly from his side, or all from his side. We didn't get anything from Belly. I mean, they were kids, LOL. If he said he liked her as a kid, they will say it's weird. I think there will be a love confession from Belly's side. Yeah, but what I'm saying, Nat, is Conrad himself said that. In season 1, he's talking to Cleveland on the boat, and Cleveland's like, tell something's wrong. Like, so I don't know, he's like bothered, and um he starts talking about a girl, and he himself literally says before, or I've always seen her as a little kid. This summer it was different. Or like it wasn't word for word that, but it was like, I've always seen her as a little kid. This summer that changed. Everything changed, or it was different, or something like that. So like, he himself has admitted that, like, it's they've always just been friends and close, and he's always looked out for her, but it wasn't until that summer where he saw her in a different light. Like, right now in the present, after all that has happened, why should she get back together with Conrad? Why is he a better partner in the present? And I don't know if the show has done a really good job with that. Well, that's the thing too, like, we need to see them together in the present in order to know if they work, right? Because again, as we were just saying, like, a lot of their stuff is like from what happened in season 1, from what happened in season 2, yearning over these past moments of like love that they had, but that is years ago, is almost a decade ago. They're very different people now, and while that love still very much so exists, they might be not compatible at this point, which obviously, again, I think we are getting Bonrad. I think we are getting them as endgame. So I think it is going to happen. But I don't want them to just be like, here's Bonrad, they're endgame. Like, I want to see them together and why it works. You don't think it's a problem that Belly couldn't express her true feelings to Jer, that she would always give in to what he wants all the time? I think she did that with everybody. I think that was I don't think that was a problem for Belly and Jeremiah. I think that was a problem for Belly in general. Belly has always been like that. Um wow. They've had Annika in this show so little, I actually spaced on her name for a second. Annika herself says that. She says to Belly, I think you care too much about what people think. It's not just Jeremiah. So that's why I think I usually have a problem with that argument of people being like, she always gives in to him and she babies him. I think she gives in to everybody. She does that with everybody. That's a Belly thing. I don't think that's a manipulated by Jer thing. I think that's a problem for Belly in general. Honestly, I don't it but I won't argue with it. You don't want it, you don't want it, but you won't argue with it. I mean, Belly nearly kissed him in real time. It's not all in the past. Right. But what I'm trying to say is like you can be like the emotions that she has, which made her almost kiss him in the present, are based off of all things in the past. They have not seen each other in 4 years. So her memory of their love is from before 4 years ago. People get people change. People become very different people. So like you're in love with someone who you knew 4 years ago. That person is still very much so in your mind, but it's not who is in front of you right now. Nah, it's all good. Haha. Love to hear different opinions on it. I'm really going to miss it. Really going to miss this messy show. Yeah. Stinks. Conrad didn't know they were hooking up at first. Um I don't think I said that. I don't think he knew they kissed, cuz he definitely was surprised to hear that, but he definitely knew that something was going on because again, he got told from Steven that there were rumors that they were hooking up. He knew that Belly chose to go with him in the car and was taking Jeremiah to the Deb ball. Like he was there's no way he couldn't have been picking up on all of that. Like why else would he have texted her after he heard a rumor about Jeremiah and her picking her why else would Conrad have texted Belly after hearing a rumor that her and Jeremiah were hooking up? Like he knew something was going on. Am not taking about Belly, maybe talking about Belly, but rather Conrad. I feel like his changes aren't enough, but we shall see with that tomorrow. Um, I think a big problem with them showing Conrad's changes is and this is actually what I've mentioned this in my previous reactions. I loved episode 5. My biggest issue with it is in the book we get so much more from Conrad's perspective, and in the show it was all Belly. I I don't think they're true, but I do laugh because I try to find the humor in things. The Joe Goldberg edits about you with Conrad, I laugh at them because I don't think that Conrad's a creepy stalker. I do, however, think that they're making it a little weird with his character because it's all Belly. Like, they literally make me feel like Conrad has a belly shrine in his closet that he, like, kneels to every night, you know what I mean? It's just weird for me. It's so much of just belly centered. We don't get anything else from him, and that's why, like, in the first episode, when they showed him going into the therapy session, I was like, "Oh my god, this is amazing. I love this for him. This is fantastic." And then he spent 6 weeks at the shore house and didn't do any therapy, and I'm like, "Oh, like, why didn't they show him on a Zoom call or something?" You know? Like, they're like, "Look, Conrad changed," but then, like, don't carry through any of the change. So, we're just supposed to believe it? Like, I don't. By the way, Jeremiah is upset about Christmas. You would think they cheated, but even Conrad was shocked she lied to Jer on the phone. By the way, Jeremiah is upset about Christmas. I agree with that. You would think they cheated, but even Conrad was shocked she lied to Jer on the phone. I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure what the comment is trying to say. Jeremiah was upset about Christmas. Acknowledged that he knew that nothing physical happened, but it was more than that. Something else happened, it was more than that, which in my opinion, it was. I don't think you have to, like, sleep with someone in order to have an emotional connection or, like, a mental emotional connection. Um, yeah, I don't know what you're really trying to say with that one. I mean, Conrad is kind of funny, though. It is, like, you could find the humor and everything, you know, like, you can laugh at things without it being mean, you know? If someone's using it in a mean, nasty way, then it's not funny, but if it's a funny comment, then it's funny. They have 100 names for Conrad after health conditions as well. I've literally only ever heard Conrad before. Yeah, when Jeremiah was advocating to Laurel is what I meant by that comment. Oh. Yeah, I mean, I can see how, like, that would be weird, like, she picked me, like, I think maybe you know what's interesting? I have this whole thing with Laurel and, like, how she never shows remotely the same amount of empathy towards Jeremiah that she does to Conrad, and, someone I was talking to about this was like, "Well, do you think that Jeremiah picks up on that?" And I was like, "Not really, like, maybe he does, but, like, I don't think it necessarily bothers him until this, like, past episode where, like, not this one, but the one before where she goes to the hotel room, but maybe that was an indication that he was when he said, like, "She picked me," maybe that was him trying to show Laurel, like, "Hey, she picked me, not Conrad, because I know that you are advocating for Conrad," but I don't know, I didn't see it like that. In the book, she mocked Jeremiah, but then both of them mocked Conrad at cousins. In the book, she mocked Jeremiah, but then both of them mocked Conrad at I don't remember that part, to be honest with you. In the book, in the book, Belly mocked Jeremiah for what? Do you remember what part it was? I honestly don't remember that. Mm, 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 mm. It's so hard to find the different parts. Yeah, this isn't gonna help me. I was trying to excuse me. I was trying to find something in book 3 and I kept trying to I was like, I'll just Google it real quick. It'll show me what part and like I could not for the life of me find it. Yeah, I really don't remember that part. Now, do you know what part that was? The dog's name was Rosie. Heartburn can mean other things as well. Yeah, it definitely can. I just feel like they emphasized too much focus on the heartburn. I think Billy's dad thing was just to show that her parents are back together. It's like a normal scene, but funny how they made a point to mention the heartburn. Lucas, that's what my friend was saying. She was like, is it this or is it just like silly couple? He can't find anything. She finds it for him, kind of. Um, I hope that's what it is. I don't want John hurt. I think if Jeremiah had been the older brother and Conrad was the younger, Belly would have fell in love with him first because I feel like Belly was in love with the thought of him at first. Like the adult caring aspect is what you're trying to say, I think, like how he was like he helped her with the bike, he was nice to her about the unicorn, like that makes sense, Giselle. You know, it's funny, I've actually never heard anybody say that before. That is a good point. Like he was very nurturing and very sympathetic towards her, because he was the parents always put it on him to be the adult and take care of everybody. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, this heartburn thing is very interesting. I didn't think it was that deep, but I guess we will see tomorrow. I hope it's not. He knows she doesn't like dark chocolate. But see, like, my thing is, like, I don't think Jeremiah, it's not that Jeremiah didn't know she doesn't like dark chocolate. It's that the cake was his thing, right? Like, we both get our thing. The cake was his thing. He wanted dark chocolate. Like, my partner doesn't like Alfredo sauce. I will up fettuccine Alfredo. It's one of my favorites, but I rarely make it. I rarely make it because I know he doesn't like it. So, but I will eat it. If it's like my wedding and I want it to be one of the dishes at my wedding, I'm gonna choose Alfredo because I like Alfredo. I think we'll get the classic rom-com ending, them kissing and riding off into the sunset in the last 5 minutes. That I mean, I that would be so annoying. That would be so annoying if that's how they did it, because, like, even being on Team Jeremiah, like, it's not like I want it to make sense, right? I want it to make sense. I don't want, like, something just thrown together, which is what I feel like they've been doing with a lot of things. I need it to make sense. Like, if you destroyed my favorite character, or not my favorite character, but, like, my choice, then you need to make yours make sense. That's my opinion. I think it's more than 10 minutes. I think it's more than 10 minutes. I don't know what that is. But didn't she really love the same Conrad she knew when in season 1 they said he wasn't the same Conrad Jenny had oh, whoa, the conversation just jumped. But didn't she really love the same Conrad she knew when in season 1 they said he wasn't the same Conrad Jenny had said this before? I'm sorry, I don't. But didn't she really love the same Conrad she knew when in season 1 they said he wasn't the same Conrad? Jenny had said this before. So, like, I think what Jenny was trying to say is, like, the Conrad we see in season 1 isn't the same Conrad of, like, who he was because he was depressed um and he was going through, like, his grieving motions. What I'm saying is this Conrad that he is now, while is still probably more so like the non-depressed Conrad, if you will, he is still 10 years later. Like, my thing is, like, anybody in any situation, boy, girl, they, them, whoever you are, in 10 years, you are going to change. There's going to be, like, an essence of you still in there, sure, but your life and everything about you is vastly going to change, and they don't know anything about each other at this point. Emotional cheating can be just as detrimental. Emotional cheating quite literally was one of the catalysts for why a friend of mine got divorced. And that is why it infuriates me when I see a lot of people in my comments being like, "Oh, it's not as big of a deal. It's not." Like, yes, it is. It definitely is. It definitely is. Like, if you connect on an emotional level and create a relationship with somebody in that way while you are with somebody else, that is can definitely be worse than physical cheating, in my opinion. I think both are horrible, but I will never say that emotional cheating is not as bad as physical cheating. It is very, very heartbreaking. They do it to be petty, though. Who does? Hi, Leah. Leah. Hi, Leah. Belly's physical connection has never changed, which is why she spent most of her time with Jeremiah trying to run away from that emotion. I've never been convinced she was ever deeply in love with Jeremiah. Really? Belly's physical connection has never changed, which is why she spent most of the time with Jeremiah trying to run away from that emotion. What do you mean? I don't think I'm understanding. Belly's physical connection has never changed. Physical connection to who? Physical connection to Conrad, which is why she spent most of time with Jeremiah trying to run away from that emotion. We've seen Jeremiah and Belly be physical. We even in the what was it, episode 2 or 3, Jeremiah was like, "You initiated sleeping together." Like, she was like, "I have to go," or something, and he was like, "You're the one who initiated this." Like, I think that they had a healthy physical relationship. I've never been convinced that she was ever deeply in love with Jeremiah. So, I think she the pursuing of him in season 2 and him, like, constantly being like, "No, no, no," and literally, like, in his face trying to kiss him and him being like, My heart's gonna get broken if I fall again," and her, like, still going for it. That, to me, proves a deep connection. I think that the fact that I mean, obviously, like, the length of relationship, you've had good and bad ones, but they've been together for 4 years. She has shown time and time again that she cares about him. I think a big thing for me too is, like, Jeremiah not being in contact with her when her and Conrad were dating was a huge issue for her. After Conrad and her broke up, it was still a huge issue for her. Now that the engagement's over, it's still a huge issue for her. She broke out into tears when they had that nice conversation on New Year's Eve. She's never acted like that with Conrad. And I'm not saying that she doesn't love him or care about him or that relationship. But what I'm saying is, Belly has made it adamantly clear that a relationship with Jeremiah is something that she needs in her life. And it is very valuable and very important to her. So I think that that is a very true indication of how deeply in love she was with him. Ow. Belly anatomically correct correct ice sculpture, the hard ice sculpture. Oh my god, that was from the books too. I'm honestly not mad about Bonrad because Jelly got more screen time and I just felt like their relationship was pretty healthy despite some things. Also, I'm still living in my Jelly delusion, because Jenny Han said she wasn't lucky enough to have a Jeremiah, and that told me all I needed to know. Yeah, Giselle, there are some, like you were saying, there are some very compelling arguments. Like, let's put it this way: if they made Jelly Endgame, I would be very surprised, but I also wouldn't be surprised. But I just don't think that they're gonna do it. Getting more screen time doesn't mean a better couple. The endgame couple gets together at the end. Yeah, it doesn't mean a better couple, but it mean like I again everything that I basically just said about like the friendship too. Belly when Belly and Jeremiah were dating, she wasn't trying to talk to Conrad. She wasn't texting Conrad. She wasn't trying to make sure the friendship was still there. She only ever did that with Jeremiah. So I just feel like their connection, and again, I'm not trying to dismiss or disrespect their relationship. I'm just trying to emphasize that Belly and Jeremiah, regardless of whether they're married, regardless of whether they're friends, regardless of whether they're dating, whatever it is, their relationship is extremely important to get to each other. They need each other in their lives. And that is something that has always been very, very important to them. And I think that that screams volumes to what Conrad and Belly have. We got 3 seasons of Belly choosing Jeremiah, and it was awesome. Conrad can have the ending. She said that at Teen Vogue as well this year. In my opinion, Jeremiah and Belly were the better couple, but we all know it's always the older brother, so it doesn't matter that much anymore. Yeah, that's a I mean, I honestly I'm gonna I will be completely honest. I'm always honest. I think that the moments that we had in season 2 with Bonrad being a couple were obviously sweet. I mean, them running on the beach together, like they had very sweet, intimate moments. They were cute together. They were adorable. I'm not saying that they weren't. I just think that I preferred the moments that I saw with Jeremiah and Belly, and I feel like there were more of them and that they were stronger. So my heart goes to there, and that's why I prefer Jeremiah. I'm not denying that there was chemistry or there is chemistry, but I just prefer the chemistry with Jeremiah. I think it's on a deeper level. Still, Jelly's relationship revolved around Conrad. I wouldn't say it revolved around Conrad, but it definitely had a big part to do with why it ended. And at the end of the book, Belly said her and Jeremiah's love will always be golden. Yeah, it was sweet. The petty part, I mean Jelly. Wait, I don't remember what you they do it to be petty though. Oh, that jellies are petty. I mean, listen, I've seen a lot of both sides being very petty. Jelly's relationship didn't revolve around Conrad. When Belly was with Jeremiah and Conrad wasn't there, they were fine. When Belly was with Conrad, she couldn't be with him until Jeremiah was okay, which Con lied to her about. Yeah, I saw like someone was like, "Oh, like Jeremiah couldn't even see them together when they were dating, but expects Conrad to be okay with them." And I'm like, "Well, like again, two vastly different situations. They're in a 4-year relationship and now engaged. That was the beginning stages of a relationship. So what they were in like 2 months at the point of Thanksgiving, his mother was also dying of cancer and he just had his heart broken by her 2 months prior. So it's like vastly different situations. They got 4 glorious years that he left them alone. They were happy. It's not until Creepy Creeper came back that he was in their relationship. I am thrilled that Jeremiah is away from them. Creepy Creeper. There isn't much difference with the screen time. I think someone added it up. Really? I would think that I would think that Jeremiah and, Belly definitely had more screen time. As far as, like, being, like, in love and having, like, sweet moments, I feel like a lot of the scenes that we get with Belly and Conrad are always very tense. I'm not saying they're only that, but there a lot of them are. If Conrad coming back changed things, is it actually ever that good? Jelly had problems even before that. Um, yeah, I think it is that good. I mean, I again, like I think that Conrad was a big problem, sure. But with Conrad not being there and them being able to thrive in their own world, like, yeah, I think that it was good. I think that they had enough to make it a healthy relationship and they were happy with that and they were content with that. I hope him and Denise, like, we also have to remember Belly didn't have a choice in that, right? Like, Conrad told her at the end of season 2, like, I care about you. I still want to be with you. And then the next day was like, no, I don't. She didn't have a choice. Like, in Belly's opinion, Belly's like, I have to move on. I have to go away from him. He does not want to be with me. He's made it adamantly clear at this point. We've gone through this over and over and over again multiple times. Like, I need to move on. I can't just keep sitting here waiting for Conrad to figure out when he wants to be with me today and then figure out tomorrow that he doesn't, you know? So, like, I think that she didn't have a choice. She had to move on from him. I hope him and Denise or someone else can love him completely and that he can love someone else like he loved her. You know, it's interesting because I like never saw the whole Denise and Jeremiah thing. And like that last episode showing them together, like having that heart to heart conversation and everything, I was like, okay, I'm starting to get convinced. I could see it. I never thought I'd be on board with it, but I could see it. I could see it. So, and I do like Denise. I think that's a big thing. Like, I didn't like her at first, and I really like her now. So, creeper. I think they need to stop bringing up Jenny's personal life. Yeah, a lot of people do, Nat. Again, like, it's not a tit for tat thing, but the way that Bonrads attacked Jenny on her birthday was very, very negative. It was very, very negative. And again, they're attacking on both sides, but the they is mainly Bonrad in that situation for that episode. Like she was blocking people. She had to like cut certain social media things off the feeds. Like it was really strong. And I'm not saying that Team Jeremiah isn't guilty of it. They definitely are. Everybody is. But I think it's also has a lot to do with like obviously majority of the fandom is Team Bonrad, so you're going to have louder noise from that side with there being more people. Um, but I'm not being biased because I'm Team Jeremiah. The most people that I see attacking Jenny specifically, like attacking each other, everybody's doing it. But the most side of the fandom that I see attacking Jenny is are Bonrads. I think the reason Jarrett is important to Belly is because first and foremost, Jarrett is her best friend, and that means a lot to her. And I don't agree with the notion that the IR relationship is not deep. In real relationship is not deep. Yeah, and again, I think it's possible to love more than one person, right? Like I mean, to be in love is different from loving someone. But I think that um, there are many people in this world that are happily married with someone, but can admit that they have been in love with somebody before that marriage, right? Like that's not taboo and that's not wrong. So just to say that Jeremiah and Belly were truly in love does not take away from Conrad and Belly being in love and being endgame. I don't see why it can't be both. Like I don't see why they couldn't have had a happy, meaningful relationship, but also just not have been right for each other. Belly feels bad, I think, but Taylor is her best friend. Wait, what? Belly, sorry. Belly feels bad, I think, but Taylor is her best friend, but you don't have to be best friends to end up together. You can become best friends. I'm not sure I'm understanding what you're trying to say. Belly feels bad, I think. Like bad that her and Jer are not on good terms. But Taylor is her best friend. You can have more than one best friend, but you don't have to be best friends to end up together. You don't. You can become best friends. You can, but I don't think any of that applies to them. If that's, I mean, I think I get what you're saying, but like you, just because Taylor's Belly's best friend doesn't mean that Jeremiah can't be one of her best friends too. You can have more than one best friend. I think Belly definitely does feel bad, but again, she didn't feel bad and try to keep a friendship with Conrad. I'm not saying that she didn't care, but the way that she reacts to her relationship with Jeremiah, she prioritizes it. And she like shows that like she can't live without it basically. I'm just happy to get his sunshine personality back. He will thrive away from both of these soul suckers. All right. Well, I don't want to call them soul suckers. I like Belly and Conrad. I have my issues, but I do like Conrad as well. Hi, Znad. I'm not trying to be a contrarian here, but watching the show, I do not think Belly really was ever in love with Jer in a relationship. The friendship is there. Okay, I mean, you're not alone. Obviously, there's someone else in here that feels like that too, and I definitely have seen that before. Oh fuck. Yeah, you're definitely not alone. Like I've seen this take before. But I don't see it like that. I don't see it like that. I feel like there are just so many things that, especially in season 1, where like he has shown that he was in love with her, and I don't take them as just best friend things. Like he's the one that advocates for her to stay at the party. He sees how hurt she is by Conrad forgetting her birthday, so he takes her out driving. He wants to be the one there for her at the Deb ball. Like there are just so many things where like I can just see him like swooning, and we do get Belly's inner monologue of like, I'm kissing Jeremiah Fisher. Like, I'm not scared because I'm with Jeremiah. Like, I don't know. I feel like there are just so many things that prove that they were really in love. Being in love doesn't mean you have to be endgame. You can have love with other people until you find the right love that's for you. Hi Maria. I'm sorry I just got here. Are you team Jeremiah or Conrad? I'm team Jeremiah. Sorry, not sorry. I am team Jeremiah. You don't have to be sorry. I am team Jeremiah. I have not changed. I have not swayed. I do not hate Conrad as a plethora of people like to point out in my comments. I don't. I am just team Jeremiah. Also I saw a video with Gavin with a Team Jeremiah shirt, Belly and Jenny and Mastermind, but Taylor Swift playing, and Gavin got the line, checkmate, I couldn't lose. What if I told you none of it was accidental, and the first time that you saw me, nothing was gonna stop me? Okay, so from my perspective, Jeremiah needs more from others than he is able to give. Hence Susanna saying, take care of your brother, and their own dad always thinking the worst of him. I don't agree with that. I think I don't think he needs more from others than he is able to give. I think that he needs reassurance and gives a lot. I think that in seasons 1 and 2, like, he's known as the sunshine boy. Susanna says, "You never let anybody see you hurt." I think he gives a lot. I think he just needs the reassurance. 1, because Susanna has always given him reassurance, and 2, because Adam has never given him any. Accidental in the first. uh, are you team Jeremiah or Conrad? You're absolutely right. Even when she was dating Conrad, she was very concerned with how Jeremiah was feeling and what he was up to. Connor never had Conrad had even lied to her about it, that he had moved on. Yeah, I didn't like that. That's a very divisive part of the story for a lot of people. I think he convinced her. I think he fully convinced her. And then I know that there are a lot of people that are like, "No, I don't see it like that." I 100% never saw it any other way. He knew that Jeremiah was not 100% okay with her. He knew that Belly needed that reassurance because she said she did. And she said, "So he's over it." And Conrad said, "Yeah, I think he is." And there's no way that he could have possibly thought that he was. There's no way. He knew he wasn't. So it just that part always frustrates me, but that's a big one that a lot of people argue. And then Jenny had said, "I laid down the groundwork and just like clockwork, the dominoes cascaded in a line. What if I told you I'm a mastermind?" Has "You Are in Love" been in there yet? Has "You Are in Love" been in there yet? "You Are in Love." I don't know what song that is. Song predictions for the finale. I am clowning hard freaking core for a TS12 song. I don't think we're gonna get a big one. I think we're gonna get a snippet. I'm telling you, I am really, and this is why. Okay, this is why. Saw hints earlier, but people called me crazy. Hints to what songs? Yay! Literally can't find anybody that's Team Jeremiah. Everybody's Team Conrad. Welcome, Maria. Please like and subscribe. um, I saw a video with Taylor and Steven, and they were asked what their favorite song in the season this season was, and they said, "We can't say what it is, but it's one that Jenny fought really hard for." Like, she fought really, really hard to get it in. And I was like, "Y'all know what you're doing." By saying something like that, like, you know what you're doing. So I don't know. I'm holding out hope. Belly can have multiple best friends. It does not change that the friendship means a lot to her, hence why it bothers her so much when they are at odds. Hence my point, the relationship still is deep. I agree. I agree. I agree. That's both sides. Yep, and say she didn't have a Jeremiah as well. Yes, sorry, Jeremiah is way cuter, and yes, he can be mad at times, but he would never leave Belly at prom. Woo! If I'm not caught up with the comments and I scroll, it, like, flies all over the place. It makes me lose my spot. Okay, here. He would never leave Belly at prom. Yeah, the whole prom thing really upset me because I don't fault Conrad because he was going 100%, I should say. He was going through a lot. We know this. And we now know from this season that he was making it seem like to Belly that, like, there was still hope when there wasn't. And so she clearly didn't understand the severity of the situation, even though she knew the situation was severe. My issue with that is that, kind of getting back to the whole getting Jer's blessing thing, Belly didn't think it was a good idea to start the relationship because the boys and should be there for each other and should be there for Suze with everything going on. Conrad persisted. Belly didn't think they should start the relationship because Jeremiah wouldn't be okay with it after everything that just happened. Conrad persisted. And it frustrates me that it happened like that because everybody likes to point out how, like, there's trauma bonding with Jeremiah and Belly over Susanna, but no one talks about the trauma bond that Conrad was trying to create, in my opinion, with Belly, because you just found out your mother has cancer. You just found out she has to go through chemo for a second time, and it's really bad. And what did you do? You clinged on to a relationship with Belly to bring happiness into your life. This is a typical thing that people do. So again, like, I'm not faulting him for that, but at the same time, it wasn't a good time to start the relationship. There was a lot going on. So all the events that happened at prom happened because you pushed that relationship that you shouldn't have pushed. So it's not that I'm like, huh, you're a jerk for it. Like, you suck. But I want somebody to acknowledge, or for him to, like, realize, like, hey, I shouldn't have done that. Like, you were right. We shouldn't have got, like, even though we wanted to, and even though there were very clear happy moments in the relationship and we did love each other, that was not the right time to start it. And I pushed it and I shouldn't have. I want that to be acknowledged. That's my issue with prom. I don't hate Jer. I just think as much as he tries hard to be a good person, he is always doing sketchy things throughout the seasons, which was why I never saw him as Endgame. Yeah, I can get that, but I also see Conrad doing sketchy things too. That's why, like, I think at the end of the day, it really is just, like, how you interpret what you're seeing and, like, what you gravitate towards. Because I was saying this earlier, I think the show does such a good job at paralleling situations, just showing them in slightly different ways. I think they're both at fault for a lot of things. It's just, which do you sympathize with more, understand more? We're all allowed to have her our own opinions. Exactly. Jellies have mocked her age and said, "What does she know about endgames?" But Reddit is something else. I don't even go on Reddit. All I know is that there are literally Bonrads that have gotten blocked because they were, like, threatening to dox her, and, like, she's literally had to block. The people have gone on being like, I was blocked by Jenny Han because I said this, and that. Like, there's been a lot of negativity. Jessie, what's your favorite scene, maybe, of Belly and Jeremiah together? I will always love the kiss at the motel. I love with the Beyoncé song, and, oh, I will always love that kiss at the motel. I think it was so sweet. Um, I don't know, like, there's so much. I remember watching that and being like, "How can you not see chemistry?" Like, so many people are like, "I don't see the chemistry." I'm like, "Watch that kiss." My god. Like, their kiss is, like, unfreaking believable. Bad that she Bad that she hurt him. Well, that's what I meant. I typed too fast. Even what they did on IMDb is ridiculous, completely uncalled for. Oh, I didn't hear about that. There's fun new stuff happening. They disliked the episode, right? Like, it was, like, really, really low. Yeah, I did hear about that. Why aren't you answering me? Um, Maria, I am behind on comments, so if you're answering comments, if you're asking, like, new questions, I might not have gotten to them yet. I'm gonna try to run through these because I am behind. Jellies did it too with Conrad's POV episode. Both sides are like this. No, yeah, I agree. I'm saying I 100% agree that both sides are like this, but it is definitely louder on Bonrad's side because there are more of them, and two, Jenny has literally said that she's had to block people because of it. Will you be going live again tomorrow or Thursday again to discuss the finale? Yeah, Caroline, I was gonna do it like immediately, not immediately, but I was gonna do it tomorrow night. But I'm thinking that I'm probably gonna do Thursday. I might even do Friday. I'm not sure. I'm gonna see how I feel about the episode. Um, and like how long it takes me to edit and everything. But I'm definitely gonna go live at some point. I'm not saying Jelly aren't best friends, but he doesn't always treat her like one, in my opinion, though. But that side think that's the reason they should end up together, but your partner becomes your best friend. I think we need to stop applying certain opinions to entire sides, though. Like there are a lot of things with Team Jelly that I don't agree with, and the one thing I hate is when people are like, "Well, you believe this," and I'm like, "No, I don't." And I like, I try not to do that with Bonrads because I know that the same thing goes for them. Like, not every Bonrad is going to believe every Bonrad theory. Um, I don't believe that. I don't the reason they should end up together is because your partner is your best friend. I mean, my partner is my best friend, but I have a lot of best friends. Like, no, I don't actually. I have multiple best friends though. So it's like I don't think that's like the do all be all. It better be 3 hours long. Lana, unfortunately, I believe the rumors are it's an hour and 17 minutes. In the last episode, she was so excited when he called. She's been dying to speak to him. She made zero effort to reach out to Conrad until the postcard. Yeah. And again, even with the postcard, she said like one little snippet thing, gave the new address, which was nice, but like there's just so much more effort with Jeremiah. Can you please have a live on Thursday talking about the episode? Yeah, you know why I'm being hesitant about like I'm gonna be honest. I am a huge Big Brother fan. And there's a huge episode happening on Thursday. So if I did come on, I probably wouldn't be able to come on until like 9, which I guess would be okay. I am Team Jeremiah. Her finger was covering the bottom of the postcard. Hmm? What do you mean her finger was covering the bottom of the postcard? I'm team you better give me a reasonable happy long ending for everybody, wrapping up the whole series nicely. Amen, Leah. I'm Team Conrad, but I'm not biased like most people. I understand them all. I like that. See? And like that's the thing. At the end of the day, they're all complex characters with issues for a reason. We're meant to dissect them. We're meant to try and understand them. We're meant to see why they do things the way they do and how they interact differently with different people. We're not meant to pick a side and hate the other one. You know what I mean? Like they're all characters that we're meant to try and understand. I also can't wait to see what songs are in the finale. I like Jeremiah 95%, but I'm still the 5% Conrad. Like, don't get me wrong. Nothing can break their like first crush, first love, but I like Conrad. I don't know, just isn't giving it. I'm Team Sunshine Boyd, not a jellyfish. I saw the finale by accident. What? I was scrolling on YouTube and I found part 1 and second. You're not going to believe the twist. Okay. They would have had that shit taken down like that. There's no way. Not the prom and the creeper comments. The prom I don't think the prom comment the creeper comment I don't like, and the soul suckers, but I don't think the prom comment was bad. I agree that I don't think he would have. Someone leaked it. No. No, they didn't. Yeah, I would love a new Taylor song. Okay, well, I don't think it was real, but if the leak was real, let's not talk about it or say anything because I don't approve of leaks. I don't like that. The creators want it to come out when it's supposed to come out and the way they want it to come out, and I want to respect that. Hopefully we get another episode. I see all these people theorizing that we're going to get 14 episodes. This is it. Unfortunately, we're not getting any extra episodes, I think. Someone said Jeremiah and Billy have zero chemistry. I was so confused. Yeah, I just again, I think it's just like trying to drown out what they don't want to see. Jellies went after her about the merch. Jellies went after American Eagle. I was hoping the 12:03 shown on the cell phone means a secret episode was coming, like a part 2, so that the ending more like 3 hours long. Yeah, I don't know. Jenny, I wouldn't put it past her to do something like that because she's so Taylor coded and she loves Taylor Swift. Like she would totally do something like that. But with it being more episodes, I don't see that happening. I know that again that it's been rumored. I haven't found it anywhere. It's not on IMDb, but I haven't found anywhere that it's been rumored that it's an hour and 17 minutes. There were also rumors that episode 5 was gonna be like an hour and a half, and it wasn't. So, I don't know how true that is. I was hoping like an hour and a half at least, but we'll have to see. It's ridiculous that they can tell her how to write her own story. It's Jenny's world, and we just have the privilege of peeking in and seeing what we see individually. Exactly. I like this has been my thing all the time. Like my point, like the purpose of me being a reactor is to give my opinion. I don't have to like the content that I'm watching. That's my opinion, but I'm not going to go directly to the person who created it and be like you're dumb. Like you're dumb and you're wrong. Like because obviously again like they're her characters. It's what she wanted to do. I don't have to like it, but I'm not going to attack her for it and call her say she's wrong. Like that's wild to me. Did you notice Belly still has the same background of her and Jeremiah on her phone? Oh, I didn't notice that. Who's staying up until midnight, 3 a.m. to watch this stupid finale? I wanted to, but I'm telling you, like it's 10 o'clock. I can't because my thing is like I have to react to it and like watching an hour long episode and watching and giving commentary and then processing thoughts and giving thoughts afterwards is a lot more energy. And then I have to edit it, and then I don't like sleeping in the day. I feel like weird if I take naps during the day or fall asleep like when it's daylight out. It makes me feel bizarre. So I'm actually gonna wrap this up now and get to bed early and then get up at 6 to watch it by 6:30. I just heard you talk about my comment, and yeah, that was the only time I saw it, and then I tried to scroll back up, and it said this video has been deleted, so I think it was real. It's possible. I would find it very hard to believe. Like, that would be really, really, really hard to have that get released. Like, I'm not saying you're lying, I'm saying I don't know if the video was accurate. I missed that. Oh my god, that's so sweet. I saw people thought she was also wearing the ring, but I didn't go back and investigate. How long do you think the last episode's gonna be? 1 hour, 30 minutes, I think. Apparently it's an hour and 17 minutes. It's an hour and 17 minutes. We need more time. Yep, the live is hella delayed for me. Sorry. It might just be me delayed on comments. Not me. I have my alarm set at 2:50, but I usually wake up before that and it's out, and I honestly still have enough energy for my morning classes. That's good. Yeah, I tried getting up for the first 2 episodes, and I ended up waking up at, like, 4, I think. Maybe it's like 3:34, and I was so beat. I was so tired. And granted that was 2 episodes, but, like, I was so, so tired. And again, it's like, it's not me just, like, watching the episode, it's me giving commentary while I'm watching it, and then I have to remember everything that happened and formulate all my opinions, and, like, I just it is so exhausting. It is so and then I have to edit it. So, I'd rather be, like, go to sleep, get some rest, be good, and go in like, I don't want it to ruin my experience. I really want to. I really want to wait up at until 3 AM, but I know I'm gonna be tired, and then I'm just gonna, like, not enjoy it as much as I would. Guys, let's all sleep because 'cause I'm sure it's gonna be disappointing on the last episode. Can we admit it, please? Honestly, am tempering my expectations. Well, I'm off to bed shortly. Please let me know what day and time you will be live again. Yeah, Caroline, I'll say it in the tomorrow in the finale because again, I want to see how the episode goes, and then maybe I'll do it tomorrow night. Maybe I'll do it's like tomorrow night at 6. Um that would probably be the best bet. You know what? Screw it. Tomorrow night at 6. Tomorrow night at 6. That way it's all freshly in our heads. It's before Big Brother. I'll have to be off by 8. So I'll start 6 p.m. my time, Eastern Standard Time. I'll have to be off at 8. Because Big Brother will start then. That'll be good too. That'll give me a reason to get off because like now I was like, I'm only gonna do like an hour, and now it's like 2.5 hours. I just get so excited talking to you all. So so that'll be tomorrow at 6. It'll force me to get off, and then yeah, that'll be good. Um, love the live, Jessie, but unfortunately, I have an exam or something, and I have to study and go to bed early. So I wish you a lot of luck on your exam, and I hope you enjoy the episode tomorrow. My expectations are down low, but hopefully it makes sense. But I am not holding my breath. I want to say that I have high expectations because I did enjoy this last episode. Um, I am just also hoping that it makes sense. I am also really, really hoping that it makes sense. Good night, Leia. Can we do it around 7? Well, I'll be doing it from 6 to 8. So I'll be on at 7. I'll be doing it from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Good night, everyone. Let's hope it wraps everything up so everyone can move on and start being friends again. Haha. Team Jeremiah alone checking out. I don't know how they're gonna end the show in 1 hour because her and Conrad haven't talked much. Yeah, that's why I'm like, I'm really hoping. I'm really hoping they do it right. I'm really hoping they make it make sense. I'm really hoping they're not just like, here they are, bye. Like, I want to see it make sense. Thank you for all your reactions. I love chatting on these lives. Good night, everyone. Take care. All right. Mwah. I love all of you. Everybody, let's get some rest. Let's get some sleep. We'll get some coffee tomorrow, get some energy in us, and then be able to watch this finale. Fingers and toes crossed. It is good. We will reconvene here tomorrow at 6 p.m. to talk about it, hopefully in a good light. I love all of you. Thank you for joining. I love your PCCCCC. What is that? My junior mint? Oh, my PC? My PCCCCCC? Yeah, thank you. It's a rainbow. Everyone asleep while I'm awake. Yeah, again, I wish it comes out at 7 p.m. for May. I wish it came out at 7. Season 2 came out at 7 p.m. I remember season 2 came out at 7 p.m. I freaking loved it. I loved it because it was like the perfect ending to my night. I could edit it and then be exhausted and go right to sleep. I loved the nighttime drops. I have no idea why it's 3 a.m. It sucks, but can the live be later? It's gonna be 6 p.m. 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. It can't be later because I'm a Big Brother obsessed nut and Big Brother starts at 8. But we'll probably do more. All right. Mwah. I love all of y'all. Thank you for being here. See you tomorrow.